Have you ever wondered what is the most important thing in sales? What is the one thing that can get you to close any deal? You're thinking, there's no such thing. Nothing like this can exist. But it does, and I'm going to explain it to you. Hi, I'm Claudio. I've been a salesman for over 10 years now, and today I want to share with you guys the one thing that helped me close deals worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. To start from the beginning, over 10 years ago, when I started in sales, working business to business, my boss asked me this question. What is the one thing that sells in this world, no matter the product? And I responded with price, of course. He said to try again. And if it's not price, then it gotta be the product, the quality of it. Try again, he said. I was bamboozled. If it's not price, and if it's not the product or the quality of it, what can it be? The technology, the way you present your product. No, my boss said, the only thing that sells, sold in the past and will sell in the future, is the feeling. I'm not gonna lie, I was still bamboozled. What is this feeling he's talking about? So, the feeling, as I still call it even now, is the relationship you build with your potential client, is the level of trust, confidence, and connection you create with. It doesn't matter if it's the owner of the company you are talking about, the acquisition manager or the person who will use the product you are selling. If you achieve the feeling, you will sell. But it's important that the person you are talking to be directly responsible of deciding to buy that product. Let me tell you another story and you can draw your own conclusion. This is about 1 or 2 years after I started in this field. I was driving to a corner of my country to meet a potential client. For the context, I was selling equipment in the waste management field. The company was interested to buy an equipment. I found them by cold calling, by the way. After a 7-hour drive, I'm not kidding you, my car broke down 200 meters before I arrived at that company. I didn't know anyone in the city, so I called him and explained what has happened. He was really helpful, set me up with a mechanic, but the car couldn't be repaired on the spot. So I had to call a towing company from the city I live to come and get me home. But they would take around 7 hours as well to arrive. And it was already middle of the day. So I scheduled a towing truck for the next day, and now I had half a day remaining in the city. My potential client was still with me, so we went to have lunch. Because of the car thing, we bonded pretty fast, and the hours in we were talking about our families, our wives, hobbies, and lots of stuff. After lunch, he showed me the city, explained what it used to be before democracy. We went by the river, showed me his boat, talked about fishing, and so on. We had dinner and then we parted ways. Of course, I explained what we do and what we sell, but I didn't get specific on what he needs and what can I do for him. Throughout the day, I just listened to him. Sometimes I was telling my own experience about the subject at hand. Next morning I left and we kept in touch. But guess what? 3 months later, I closed that deal with a higher price than the competition. How could that happen? Well, because I achieved the feeling with him. I created trust, I created a professional relationship between two people and not two companies. This is the only thing that got me that deal. And this is not the only example I have on this, but it will take me a lot to tell you all the deals I closed just because of the professional relationship. Maybe in another video. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more stories like this. And now, I will tell you how to achieve it. The feeling, as I call it, the trust, the bond, the professional relationship you create with your potential client is one of the most, or maybe the most important things in sales in my opinion. Many salespeople focus too much on price or on the product in their first interactions. Doesn't matter if it's by phone or by personal visit, usually these are the two main factors where people start a discussion. There is also the quality or the technology, delivery times, benefits for the clients and so on. All of this can be worthless even if you have the perfect product. But if you don't create a connection, a level of trust, you might still lose that deal. Don't get me wrong, with this you will surely sell, but if your product is not good, that will break the trust you create and the client won't buy from you anymore. So yes, the product and all of the benefits for the client are still very important, but not necessarily the things that will close you the deal. In the first 4 years, I sold cheap products. Then we changed the factory and sold only premium products. The sales were all the same because I sold based on the relationship I had with my clients and not on the product. How can you create that feeling? I want to share with you guys some tips about how to create the level of trust you need with your potential clients, that when they need to buy that kind of product you are selling, they will do it from you. Make sure you stay for the last one, which, if you ask me, it's maybe the most important. First one, listen more than you talk. Everyone, even I did this wrong at the beginning. I talked more than I listened. I wanted to show the strong points of my product, the quality, the price that is very good, and all the stuff I learned about my product. Listening to your potential client makes him feel understood. I cannot emphasize how important this is. It's like the first level of trust that you are building with the client. Basically, is the foundation. Not only that, but by listening, you will find out more information about what is important for him and how can you present your solution to his need. Second, very important, ask questions. Always ask questions and combine it with the first thing and listen. This is the perfect duo for creating trust and a professional relationship. And besides that, again, it gives you information you need to close the deal. Professionally, you can find out what you need to know to offer your best solution and build trust. And personally, you can find more about the person you are talking with, what are their hobbies, if he has a wife, kids, and so on. Of course, we don't talk business and suddenly we just ask how many kids he has or if he has a wife. But trust me, if you are prepared for the personal part, you will find points in the conversation where you can ask personal questions. They will mention sometimes something personal because they are human too. And you can hop on the train. A bonus, this can easily ease the tension if they are too serious. But even if they are friendly, this will make the conversation feel for them like talking to a friend, not somebody who wants to sell them something. Third thing that I want to emphasize is be honest. When I tell you this, I'm not talking about telling him how much profit your company makes. I am referring to your product or service. Tell them exactly what it can do and how it can do it. Don't overboost it because you will break the trust. I'm also referring to your answers. Don't tell him something just to answer a question. If you don't know something, it's better to let him know that you are unaware of that specific thing and you will let him know immediately after you find the answer within your company. Fourth thing is personalize the experience. Maybe one of the most important. Don't forget that the people you are talking to are still people. Doesn't matter if it's the owner of the company, the manager, or the man using the product, they are still people. They have interests, they have hobbies, moods, stress, and so on. So take your time to memorize their name. Call them by the first name. Remember details about them in your next calls or visits. Check up with them personally when you call for a follow-up. I will tell you a tip. And something in my day is reminding me of my interaction with one of my possible clients. I call them and tell them that. Like, hey John, I'm just driving by this river and I remember you showed me your boat. You still have that old thing? The feeling can be used if you are selling projects worth hundreds of thousands of dollars or even when you are working in retail and just sell a laptop or some electronic. Just imagine a conversation when you go to buy a laptop. The salesman comes in and just shows you the laptops he has and what they can do. You will have lots of information but still can decide. But if he asks you, what will you use your laptop for? It's just a simple question and listens to you, he can propose something and then tell you why he proposed that. Because he listened to you telling him what is important for you in a laptop. He asked and he listened, and you get the laptop you needed. If you focus on creating the feeling in your sales approach, you not only close more deals, but also build long-term relationships with your clients. Trust me, that's what leads to real success in sales, and that can close you a lot of deals in the future. See you in the next one.